When there was segregation, I hoped there would be fairness one day or someday. When there was bigotry and prejudice, I hoped that there would be tolerance and understanding someday.
There's a man going around taking names, and he decides who to free and who to blame. Everybody won't be treated all the same.
I don't care about the Constitution.
Hell with the Supreme Court.
Good luck, baby.
Well, folks, here we are again. My producers, part of their job is to aggregate TikTok videos to then torture me with. And as we go through this process, I just want you to remember the suffering that I go through on your behalf. This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
Your tears are so yummy and sweet.
Okay, let the torture begin. Here we go. Oh no, I can see from this face, the crazy eyes are already here. All right.
Get angry! This is atrocious! This is war on women! How f***ing dare the Supreme Court do this sh**? F*** you, Kavanaugh! F*** you, Gorsuch, for lying under oath when you were confirmed, saying that you believed that this was settled! Women will die! But as long as it fits your Christian damn narrative, it must be correct! White women of privilege will still have access after their senators f*** them!
What's going on with you? What are you talking about?
Poor working mothers will not! Young women who are victims of sexual assault will not! Women who found out that their child is not viable in the third trimester will not! And who the f*** knows what's gonna happen ectopically, because half you men prove that you don't know what an ectopic pregnancy is! How do I have less rights than my mother?
Well, you have less brain cells than your mother. Or fewer, rather. She actually makes some arguments here amid the screaming. It was hard to, pierce through the veil of just loud. First of all, there's not a single state in the country that is going to prevent the abortion or removal of an ectopic pregnancy. There's literally no legislative language that does any of this.
It's false.
As far as the argument that millions of women are going to die from this, that's just a lie. It's not true. If you look back to the Guttmacher Institute statistics from the 1960s, when abortion was widely banned, the number of women who died every year thanks to botched abortions was extraordinarily low. Statistically speaking, it's going to be even lower now. Okay, as far as the argument that she's making about white privileged women will still be able to get abortions, but that's because of the left, not because of the right, meaning that the right would like those privileged white women also not to get abortions, last I checked. I don't want any of these women to get abortions.
You gotta stop killing everybody!
It is always fascinating to me how the left likes to use edge cases as opposed to the mainstream case. So the young girl who gets raped, and she's gonna have to now bear the baby. That is not nearly the vast majority of abortions in this country. They're using edge cases because even if you said to them, okay, well, we will say that you can have abortions in these cases, they would say, but what we actually want is just abortion across the board for all time for any reason whatsoever.
I need your money to kill babies by abortion.
So those edge cases are just an excuse for them to get the policy they actually want. They won't argue on the core policy because it's just too ugly for them. They don't like that core policy. But again, reality matters not to these people. The only thing that matters to them is that they're very, very angry because they like abortion an awful lot.
Just heard the news about Roe v. Wade, and we in the Jewish community are horrified.
No.
This is a huge problem for us, all of us in the Jewish community, because we as a religion support abortion.
Nope.
If someone needs an abortion because their baby is sick, they're allowed to do it according to Jewish law. If being pregnant is causing a tremendous amount of stress for the mother, then according to Jewish law, she is allowed to have an abortion.
Nope.
So to all of you out there that are outraged by this, we as a Jewish community, we support you.
Nope. Hey, Agudat Israel, which is an Orthodox group, came out with a statement of support for the overruling of Roe versus Wade. Rabbi J. David Blech, who is one of the founders of sort of bioethics in the Orthodox Jewish community, had an article talking about why the overruling of Roe versus Wade was good. The very best you can say is maybe what the Orthodox Union said. They put out a very milquetoast statement suggesting that they couldn't either mourn or support because Jewish law is nuanced on these issues. But the nuance in Jewish law completely disregards the idea from the left that abortion on demand is an inherent good. Jewish law says that if you want an abortion, you have to go to a rabbi, part of the patriarchy, and you have to get a heter, meaning some sort of permission, in order to get the abortion. And only the most permissive authorities, you're talking about fringe permissive authorities, allow abortions in some of the kinds of cases she's talking about. And there are certain rabbanim, ranging from Moshe Feinstein to Rav Joseph Soloveitchik, who say that it is equivalent to murder. So no, I mean, this is just wrong, and the attempt to turn Judaism into a pro-abortion religion is ridiculous. At the best, you can say that Judaism is more nuanced than Catholicism, but it is in no way a pro-choice religion by any stretch of the imagination.
This is bigger than just wanting to have an abortion whenever you want. And if you think it isn't, you're the problem.
Oh.
This is bigger than your political views, than your religious views. This is about the woman who tried to have a baby so bad and ended up having a miscarriage, who now has to go stand on trial.
What?
This is about the woman who was raped or incest or just doesn't want to have a baby because she's not ready, because she's mentally not prepared, or the woman who could end up dying. It's not up to you. And if you think that this is helping anything, you're so wrong. We are moving so far back in history. And if you think that this is just the beginning, you're wrong. If we don't stand up now and do something about this, The Handmaid's Tale is going to be more than
The
just
Handmaid's
a show.
Tale, my God, read it on the fucking book.
I am sick. How do I look at my daughters and tell them that they're growing up in an amazing place when they're not?
Oh! Okay, so stop citing The Handmaid's Tale. It's garbage. It's stupid. It's a bad book. It's a worse series.
Your existence is God's failure.
I love when these people say, how am I going to tell my daughters that abortion won't be legal for them? You might tell them that the reason that you're alive right now is because you're a human life in the womb, and if we had actually taken my logic to its extreme and I had decided that I just didn't feel like you, you'd be dead right now and not here. Also, the conflation of all these issues. Like, well, you know, a woman who had a miscarriage, she's going to be brought up. Under what rubric is a woman with a miscarriage going to be brought up on trial? The hell are you talking about?
The hell are you talking about?
If you think you live in a dystopian country, try Europe, where they've had more significant abortion restrictions for literally decades than the United States, but you seem to think that everything is free and happy over there. Oh, no.
All the human rights are going to start falling down.
How does she eat with that?
All right, LGBTQ plus community, we're next on the chopping block. And birth control. And possibly interracial marriage.
What?
So pretty much we're going... The only thing that's going to have rights in this country is white men and guns.
Oh, this crap. Okay, so first of all, ain't none of those cases getting overturned. They're not.
Ain't gonna happen.
Okay, there was one vote for that, Justice Thomas. We live in this bizarre world in which the left actually believes that all policy is made at the Supreme Court level. Let's say, for example, that Obergefell were actually overturned. How many states would gay marriage become illegal in? 15? 10? California, it would still be legal. Massachusetts would be legal. New York, it would be legal. Vermont, it would be legal. Maine, it would be legal. Illinois, it would be legal. Oregon, Washington, New Mexico, Colorado. Like, we can go through the list. But there's this belief system on the left that unless the Supreme Court does precisely what they want them to do by preventing all of their fellow citizens from voting on these issues at the state level, then this means that their rights are under grievous assault. That's not the way any of this works. They think that the job of the Supreme Court is just to do what they want it to do, and that's not the job of the Supreme Court. I, for example, am in favor of the availability of contraceptives. I'm against Griswold versus Connecticut. It's a badly decided case on the basis of a crap substantive due process argument.
Your moves are weak.
But I can distinguish between what I think the Supreme Court ought to do and my own personal political beliefs because I've read the Constitution of the United States and I understand what the different branches of government do. These people don't care. They just want what they want from the Supreme Court, and if they don't get it, they cry into camera. Well, we'll get to more torture with these TikTok videos in just 1 second. First, let me ask you a question. What if there was someone out there who kept a log of every single thing you did, every minute of the day? We're not talking about God, we're talking about big tech or the government. What if I told you that's exactly what happens every time you go online? Your internet provider like AT&T or Comcast, they're allowed to store logs of every website you've ever visited. They can legally sell that data to anyone, including the government. That's why I always use ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN reroutes your internet connection through their secure servers, so your internet provider can't see or log what you do online. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, wait, hold up, if I'm routing all my data through a VPN, doesn't that just mean the VPN can see what I'm doing and log my data instead? Well, you are right to ask this question. Many VPNs claim to have a no logs policy, but have been caught logging customer activity, which is naughty of them. ExpressVPN is the only VPN I trust because they use trusted server technology. They're the first major VPN provider to engineer all of their VPN servers to run in RAM, which makes it literally impossible for their VPN servers to store any data, including logs of any ExpressVPN customer. You don't have to take my or ExpressVPN's word for it. ExpressVPN is so confident in their no logs claim, they even had one of the biggest assurance firms, PwC, audit their technology. ExpressVPN is super easy to use. All you do, you open up your phone, you scroll on over to your ExpressVPN, and you open it up. Right now it says, not connected. But behold, I hit the button, and now it is connected, and this means that I am protected. So stop letting people keep logs of what you do online. Visit expressvpn.com/BenYT right now. Find out how you can get 3 months for free.
I'm at a loss for words for what happened today.
You're not, though. You're talking.
We all knew it was going to happen, but actually seeing it happen just feels extremely unreal. Because I can't find my own words at the moment, I'm going to leave you with the words from the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, who I've spoken about time and time again, who is our nation's group of leading experts when it comes to the health and well-being of pregnant people. And something you need to understand is that if our policies that dictate healthcare access do not abide by the opinions of leading medical experts, then those policies have no intention of protecting people. ACOG has stated that abortion access is essential for comprehensive evidence-based healthcare. President of ACOG stated today that today's decision is a direct blow to bodily autonomy, reproductive health, patient safety, and health equity in the United States.
Aren't these just buzzwords that dumb people use to sound important?
That's a political statement, because all of our scientific institutions have been taken over by political activists. And the ultra-crepidarianism, the acting out of turn, by which the scientific community has radically decided now that they get to name the moral bases upon which all public policy is based, that's how you end up with Dr. Anthony Fauci running COVID policy for the entire United States based on whatever is coming out of his dumb head.
I'm not a political person.
I love to travel and spend money. Like, I love to spend money. But if you are a red state and you have anti-abortion laws, not only will I not visit your state, and not spend my money there, but I will also not be sending my children there to college, and they will not be spending any money there either.
Well, bye. So here's my counter. I took my big company and I moved it from a blue state to a red state. And companies are moving from states like yours to states that may not agree with you on abortion. So you want to play this game? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions, what's up?
Make the blue states the abortion capitals of the world, declining demographics, high taxes, and see how this works out for you guys economically speaking. You want to go to economic war over abortion? We'll find out pretty damned quickly which side is going to win that economic war, because it turns out that the same side that seems to want to protect human life also tends to be pretty free market positive.
Let them fight.
Stack up your spending habits against the spending habits of the people who are pro-life and pro-business. And over time, we'll see how that works out for you.
25% of foster children develop PTSD, apparently twice the
I'm developing PTSD from this guy singing.
That you're pro-life. And 40% of homeless youth are LGBTQ. They come from families that are just like you, but I'm glad you sleep better at night.
Bro, are you saying that people with PTSD don't deserve to live? If you're that ignorant, no amount of explaining what the song is about is going to convince you. But I really don't think you're that ignorant. I think you're just trying to be inflammatory at this point.
That's one of my favorite things that you'll see from the folks on the TikTok left. It really is fun. You'll be like, so it sounds a lot like you are saying that people who are LGBTQ homeless youth should have been killed in the womb.
We're just gonna kill them.
That's kind of what it sounds like you're saying there. And they'll be like, if I can't explain it to you, then it can't be explained. No, you can explain it. Explain why that wasn't the argument that you were making. Because the argument you were making is that foster kids end up with PTSD and therefore you should be pro-abortion. Once you say therefore you should be pro-abortion at the end of that argument, you are now making the case that suffering post-birth is justificatory of death before birth. That is the case you are explicitly making. But if you don't understand, man, I can't. But that's your job. I mean, you have to explain your position, or maybe you don't. Maybe you just, can't explain it, man. You're too ignorant. Bruh. So tiresome.
Congratulations, you successfully managed to control women's bodies that much more. Do you think Invisible Man-Made Sky Daddy will love you now?
See, I'm crazy because I believe in God, but he's sane because, well, Well,
Jesus, never do that again.
Oh, I'm getting tired, guys. How many more of these? The most articulate response yet. I like that she's got knee pads on to make sure she doesn't hurt her knees when she does this. She must have really bad knees. She puts on the pillow and the knee pads to make sure that she doesn't hurt herself when she drops on the floor and starts screaming like an insane person. Also, I mean, I don't mean to be a fashion critic, but did she pick this up from like Madonna's discards in 1986?
Where did you get that dress? It's awful.
What is I like that the dog is looking at her quizzically. It's just the dog enters like, She's like, grr. It's the same irrational responses that really I think are going to convince millions that the pro-abortion side is correct. We have concluded here, so I'm going to go rinse my brain out with soap. We'll be back here next time for my producers to torture me yet again, I am sure. If you have any things you'd like me to react to, leave them in the comments or don't. I don't really care. See you next time.